So you think you're attractive, you're not. Sounds harsh, right? But hear me out. It's not your face or your body which is holding you back. It's your lack of discipline. And if you think it doesn't apply to you, then you're already proving my point. Welcome to my video. If you don't show up for yourself, it literally shows in every aspect of your life. Not only your confidence, the way you carry yourself, and of course, even your appearance. People can tell, and you can't fake it. Your confidence, the way you carry yourself, and also your appearance, let's be honest. So let's start with my first statement. It takes a really deep person to be superficial. Now you're probably wondering, Jean, why does it take a really deep person to be superficial? Let me explain. So I would say people who put a lot of effort into their looks and the way they present themselves, I'm not saying they're superficial. I would argue that they're really intentional and they just know the way that they represent themselves or step into the world, they can get different outcomes based on how they act, you know? And yeah, of course, pretty privilege is still a huge thing. And the reason behind it is basically, if somebody looks really good, they're just silently communicating, hey, I have the discipline to show up for myself, to work out, take care of myself. I'm really eloquent. That means I probably am high educated. I read a lot. I have a lot of amazing social skills. And those are character traits which you can only win through discipline. It's not purely about looks. You can be the most beautiful person on earth, but if I talk to you and you have nothing to back it up with, I will lose interest in you in just a second. To the looks part again, because it still plays a big role. You just communicate silently with your looks. I have to consistently, the character traits, to show up for myself, to be reliable. You're just telling people you can trust me. Because if I see somebody who's not capable of taking care of themselves, just waking up in the morning and maybe putting a tiny bit effort into yourself, or having the routine, the consistency also, to show up for yourself, I just know you can't even trust yourself 2 steps. So if I'm friends with you, why should I be friends with you? If I'm gonna ask you for help, how can I be sure you're not gonna drop me after a second just because you feel uncomfortable? If you can't even endure discomfort for yourself, if you can't even be there for yourself when you need yourself the most, why should I trust you? Which brings us directly to my next point, self-confidence. You can only have self-esteem through esteemable actions. So by having a track record, when you show up for yourself consistently, you build self-confidence. You can't just get it by telling yourself, oh, I'm confident in the manifesting shit. It takes so much more than this. And people can feel and sense if you fake it. I can see if you have real self-confidence because you achieved so many things in the past and you just know, no matter what, I will get through it because I will find a way to get through it. For example, 3 months ago, I ran a marathon. And 90% of the time when I trained for it, I wanted to smash my head against the wall. I didn't feel like waking up. Discipline is about still doing the things, even if motivation is nowhere to be found. One day, I probably only slept like 3 hours and I still went to the gym to run my fucking 10 kilometers. I was crying while I was going to the gym. And when I ran my marathon, the last 3 kilometers were so painful. I was crying myself in the river. I could basically have swum to the finish line. My next point is, everything in life has a price. If you're not where you want to be, it's basically because you're not willing to pay the price. Everything in life has a price. So let's make a game. Now you can have your dream life. You're in the position of your dream life, but believe me, you're gonna fall after a second because you couldn't handle the stress, the routine. You know what kind of knowledge it takes to be in the position where you want to be? What kind of discipline you need to be able, and all the knowledge which you accumulated over time, you don't have it, so you can't be in a position. Right now, we're both not in a position of living our dream life. So get to work, because if you're not where you want to be, you're just not willing to pay the price. If you're in a position of depression, you're paying the price for it. Everything in life has a price, so choose your pain. Stop having so much empathy with yourself of, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm not able to do this. Bitch, it's not about motivation, just do it. Even when you're depressed, just try to change your clothes. Try to do like a little thing for yourself. Because if you're already depressed and you're like 20 hours on your freaking phone, guess what? You're the one who's taking actions, consequence. But the most attractive thing about you isn't your looks, it's your morals, it's your character. People see how you treat others and how you treat yourself. How are you going to treat somebody if you're upset? Are you going to drop all your morals and going to lash out and go crazy? Or are you still going to, even if you're upset, treat me with respect? And if you're disciplined, you're basically investing into your character. You're building more and more character. And that's the thing, ooh, I'm gonna tell you, it makes you so, so attractive. It's not about looks, people. Believe me, if you're pretty, but there's literally nothing behind you, I don't fucking care about you, really. Like, oh, get out of my way. But if you have a beautiful character and a beautiful soul, and I just see the fire in your eyes, and you're a good person, you have morals, ooh. You're like the most interesting person on earth. Like, that's the thing which you can't buy. So many people are running around with paying so much money for expensive clothes, but they're super, super overweight and they're communicating, I don't have any self-respect, I don't have any discipline when it comes to food. And the biggest flex that you have is literally your character, your morals, your actions, and of course the way you treat yourself, really. One important thing about discipline is that you will learn that being successful is about being able to navigate through your emotions, to control them, not to be controlled by them. When you're tired, when you don't feel like it, when you just want to hang out with friends. Why should I do this right now? I have so many better things to do, like being on my phone right now. And you still show up for yourself. You don't only build trust with others, you also build self-trust with yourself. You need to get to the point where you invested so much in this one thing, into yourself, that the pain of quitting is so much greater than the pain of continuing and showing up for yourself. When I was training for my marathon, I was training 5 to 6 times per week. So I had invested so much into my training, quitting was not an option anymore. So simply said, just do the things that need to be done, even when it hurts. Do the things which are right, even when you really don't feel like it. For example, yesterday I was like traveling for 24 hours from somewhere in Thailand to where I am right now, Cambodia. Yes, I'm traveling the whole world, I'm getting confused. But to Cambodia, I barely slept. And even though I didn't really sleep, I still dragged myself to the gym. And believe me, it was so painful. So yeah, do the things which need to be done, even though it hurts. And even though you really don't want to show up for yourself. And don't be too harsh on yourself. Like, don't be your own bully and tell yourself, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure because the last week I haven't done anything, I haven't been to the gym, or I haven't read any books, or whatever you want to achieve right now. Don't be your own biggest hater. Be more like tough love, kind of, but be more like nice to yourself and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go back to the routine, like little steps. Try. You own your failure when you stop trying. Pay the price, and you will get more confident and more beautiful self-trust, all those amazing character traits like consistency. You will get stronger. And that's just priceless, because that's what life is about. The process of seeing who you become on a journey. Oh my gosh, this sounds so cheesy. I can't even believe I said it. But yeah.